Chronus Book of Days Chapter 52, and just like that, we have arrived at the final week of the year, with 22 tarot shadows finished but one, the Reversed Magician. This year, week 52 features both Christmas and New Year's Eve in the span of a single week. But hold on, there is also the full cold moon in Cancer, Chiron and Jupiter returning direct in motion, and Venus entering the fire sign of Sagittarius all before the ball drops at midnight New Year's. I am MetaStar, let's begin. This is it, the last hurrah of the chariot year, that will not cycle back around until 2032, 9 years from now. During a Tarot 7 cycle, it is common to find ourselves separated from our family, home, creature comforts, and the world in some manner. Chariot years are not for nesting, procrastination or for making excuses. Chariot years are challenging and difficult, they're about overcoming adversity and spiritual attack. It's a time to grab life by the reins, assert yourself and take charge, jump into the driver's seat, and push towards your goals with determination and willpower. Now, I've mentioned this a few times in recent episodes, but chariot years call for taking the initiative, intense focus, and using your energy to make progress. With only 7 days until the new year, I hope you've been able to steer your life in the right direction and have reached your goals by now. Week 52 of any year is always influenced by the Reversed Magician card. Every 9 years, when the chariot pairs up with the Reversed Magician for the final week of the year, it can signal burnout or struggles in making your plans a reality. The reasons for this can vary. Sometimes it's due to a lack of focus or purposeful action. Sometimes it's due to looking over your shoulder, watching the competition, instead of running your own race and doing your own thing. Other times, it's like the magic trick you promised to pull off by the end of the year turning into an unattainable dangling carrot simply by forces beyond your control. On the flip side, the Reversed Magician might suggest that you're using your manifesting powers for not so great purposes, which can throw your life out of balance or lead to conflicts and trouble that otherwise could have been avoided. Satellite companion to the Reversed Magician is the King of Pentacles. In the King of Pentacles, we see a male figure sitting comfortably, much like the elder figure depicted in the Ten of Pentacles. Like the Ten of Pentacles elder, the king is so obviously enmeshed in his world and surroundings that it's hard to distinguish where his world ends, and the external world begins. The King of Pentacles represents worldly and financial success, self-made wealth, and the inheritance of prosperity across generations. This king has it within his capacity to be a Christmas villain like Old Man Potter from It's a Wonderful Life or the infamous Ebenezer Scrooge. The King of Pentacles symbolizes individuals, both men and women, who become consumed by the demands of their careers, the pursuit of their brand, financial empires, and materialism, usually at the expense of their family and health. The combination of the Reversed Magician and King of Pentacles also hints at the presence of manipulative trickster energy. This is the sort of individual who manipulates family members, their own children, or employees, pitting them against each other, playing on the last emotional nerve to his or her own advantage, which is usually a game of control. This is someone who isn't above using their wealth, power, or the promise of gifts or promotions to manipulate others or lord control over them in some manner. If you find yourself in a situation where someone is trying to control you through threats to your career, reputation, or financial well-being, you must first tap into your inner strength and self-worth, and trust in the abundant universe. No one has the right to control or manipulate you. Seek support, set clear boundaries with the person who is attempting to control you. If necessary, seek legal or professional assistance to protect your career and financial interests. Lastly, release attachments, understanding that material wealth and career success are not the only measures of a fulfilling life. The solar path now in the first decan of Capricorn introduces the Two of Pentacles, a symbol we met back in week 41, along with the reversed Hanged Man. It is here, as the year draws to a close, that work-life balance issues may take center stage and require skillful handling. The rising tides and turbulent sea in the background tell the story. Suddenly life feels more challenging, or you may find yourself caught up in a flood of emotions concerning some issue, usually having to do with money or career matters, or perhaps a combination of both. It's like you're constantly grappling with mixed feelings, unsure of which direction to take and experiencing a sense of back and forth indecision. The long-range tarot influence for 2023, the Chariot card, ruled by the zodiac sign Cancer, which comes to full illumination this week, symbolizes our innermost personal and domestic life, as well as the changing tides of circumstance. The Chariot foreshadowed that after several years of relative balance or just putting up with things but not really taking the initiative or control, that a shift would occur at some point in 2023, and that opting to take a back seat and not handle things, especially at home or within the family, would come to an end. Any problems or challenges in our domestic life were destined to become more pressing, necessitating increased attention and effort. Matters we may have been tolerating without confronting directly can range from stuff needing a bit of tender loving care and a simple reorganization of your living or workspace, to a complete and extreme makeover, where you may need to make significant repairs and changes, even if it means parting ways with things or someone once cherished. Even if your relationship dynamics are sound, much like the crab that carries its home on its back and sheds its shell when it becomes too cumbersome, the very place you call home might have transformed into a significant burden sometime over the last year. This could be due to issues like flooding, financial payments, taxes, shifts within the neighborhood, constant and costly repairs, or other related responsibilities. Remember that your domestic life can reflect your inner world. If your home life has become a spiritually draining money pit or your beast of burden, it could be time to assess your priorities and let go of clutter and possessions that no longer serve any practical purpose, realizing the accumulation of more things does not equate to more happiness or inner peace. Simplify your life, be mindful of wasteful spending, admit that you may have a problem that is bigger than you, and seek guidance from someone who can help you or help shift your perspective to explore your best options. Lastly, establish boundaries and set clear expectations with family members or housemates who may have become far too complacent for far too long. With the sun's entrance to Capricorn marking the transition from autumn to winter, we have a new seasonal watcher, the Page of Pentacles. The seasonal watcher is akin to astrological Mercury, representing the messenger archetype and various myths. All pages are a mercurial mixed bag when it comes to the type of information they share and how they communicate on behalf of spirit. The Page of Pentacles communicates mostly through material objects, like scattered dimes and nickels found around the home, or books earmarked and open to specific pages. Even a deflated car tire carries its own symbolic meaning. The Page of Pentacles also uses nature and animals to convey messages. Various things, such as different wind speeds, the scent of a burning fireplace or campfire, the squalling of blue jays, barking dogs, the presence of butterflies and ladybugs, can convey messages when we remain receptive to new forms of spiritual communication. And because the body is a physical object, it's essential to be attentive to the messages and signs that your body may be sending, even if it's as simple as a reminder to slow down for an afternoon to indulge in a refreshing nap. The Page of Pentacles watches over the 13 weeks of winter. His watch begins on the first day of winter and ends at the vernal equinox or first day of spring. The Page of Pentacles is depicted as a young man in a green tunic holding a large pentacle, which he appears to examine closely. This page encourages a diligent and studious approach to education and all forms of learning, as well as with finances and career opportunities. He is full of youthful enthusiasm, plus he's practical and focused, especially on material matters and ways to earn money. If he had a favorite song, it might be Money for Nothing by Dire Straits, which also fits in nicely with themes related to the reversed Magician and King of Pentacles. The lush landscape in the background signifies growth, but also belief in the abundance of the universe. The page, deeply absorbed in his golden pentacle, understands the laws of attraction and manifesting reality. His divine mission over the next 13 weeks is to assist and guide, and even playfully trick us into utilizing the knowledge and skill he possesses by grace. Mercury retrograde is the astrological equivalent of the Page of Pentacles, but also of the Magician card reversed. Cardinal Capricorn is the astrological equivalent to the King of Pentacles. For the second time in 2 years, Mercury will be retrograde during the last week of the calendar year, enhancing the reversed magician's theme of wealth and manipulation, misdirection, unclear communication, the forfeiture of reputation, dignity and moral principles, and of losing one's mojo, particularly in the context of financial power, prestige or manifestation abilities. Overall, the combination of the reversed Magician, the King of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles suggests that you may need to find balance in your material affairs, but you may be facing some challenges or problems in doing so. The Two of Pentacles is a clear symbol of juggling multiple priorities and struggling to keep everything in order. With the reversed Magician, you may be lacking the necessary skills, focus, or confidence to effectively manage your work, finances, domestic and personal life. This has probably led to feeling overwhelmed, defeated, scattered, or uncertain about the future, as if things may never improve. The King of Pentacles is a leader. He is successful, responsible, and has made his way in this world through hard work and dedicated effort. You may need more King of Pentacles energy in your situation, especially if it appears that you are facing challenges or resistance in achieving this level of serious adulting in your life, from the people in your life, or that work for you. So, as we wrap up this Chariot year, take a moment to reflect on your journey and make sure you're on the right path. Don't let the magic fizzle out or use your powers for the wrong reasons. Keep your focus, stay determined, and let's welcome the new year with open arms. We end the year where we began under the auspices of the full moon in Cancer. This event marks the culmination of the new moon Cancer 6 months ago on July 17, 2023 at 24 degrees Cancer. The important point to make here is that regardless of the energy you place into a situation now, the full moon marks a point of culmination, of harvest, the peak of experience. What we reap is determined by the intentions we set and the nature of the seeds we planted back at the new moon phase of July. The moon in Cancer is always significant for a variety of reasons. First, the moon is at home in the cardinal waters of Cancer, therefore when its new or full phases come to pass, feelings and emotions tend to run high. Cancer is a nurturing sign that is closely associated with domestic matters, including home, family, children, and motherhood. When the moon moves through Cancer, your thoughts may turn to home and family and you may wax nostalgic for the past, the good old days, recalling loved ones and events of your childhood. Additionally, it holds a special significance in the context of the United States because the nation is ruled by the astrological sign of Cancer, celebrating its birthday, as many know, on July the 4th. Here, when charted for December 26 at 7:33 p.m. East Coast United States, the full moon illuminates the 11th house, at 4 degrees Cancer, in opposition to a significant degree of Capricorn that has proven troublesome for the Cancer-ruled United States in the past, especially when triggered by powerful lunar activity. This specific degree, 4 degrees of Capricorn, when aroused by celestial events such as an eclipse, has foreshadowed significant events in the United States, East Coast New York in particular. Christmas 2000, a new moon solar eclipse to this degree foretold the tragic events of September 11, 2001, 9 months in advance, and upon its return, 19 years later, December 26, 2019, it coincided with the onset of the 2020 global pandemic that initially hit the east coast of the United States hard and without mercy. One full moon upon a hot button sign degree polarity does not a tragedy make, however there is more than one signature that makes this full moon a red alarm affair. Hades, the trans-Neptunian object, being the most obvious, as it remains within a mere 13 minutes of conjunction to the United States Sun, while aligned to the blazing star Sirius. In Chapter 40, under the auspices of a fourth quarter moon at 13 degrees Cancer, I introduced the discussion of Hades conjunct the United States Sun and the possibilities for trouble, and including themes of child abduction and grotesque human behavior. 6 days after the publication of that warning here at the Chronus Book of Days, Hamas launched a terrorist attack on Israel, an act which would subsequently involve the United States in another proxy war and raise security concerns particularly in and around New York. The theme of war and Cold War echoes was always on the table during the Cancer-ruled Chariot year, with bookend full moons occurring at the beginning and end of 2023. Either way, the full moon in same-sign proximity to Hades conjunct the United States Sun is still worrisome and problematic for any number of reasons. As I prepare this episode, the East Coast, primarily portions of northeast New Jersey and Maine, are underwater after a rare tropical storm dumped several inches of rain on already saturated ground, resulting in rivers swelling to historic levels. Whole neighborhoods are under floodwater, evacuated, and left devastated 1 week before Christmas morning. This sort of cosmic cruelty is typically the signature of Hades. There's no telling what further natural disaster the full moon over this point will bring, but it bears watching. And then there's morning star Venus at 26 degrees of Scorpio opposite Algol, also known as the head of Medusa, spelled M-E-D-U-S-A, trine Neptune in Pisces. This setup has the markings of cold revenge written all over it. In Greek mythology, the rape of Medusa by Neptune, brother of Hades and god of the sea, ultimately led to her punishment and exile. Medusa was once a beautiful mortal woman known for her striking features and beautiful long flowing hair. Tragically, her beauty caught the attention of Neptune. Medusa rejected his advances on her and sought refuge in what she believed was a safe place, the temple of Athena, goddess of wisdom. Neptune's anger and lust toward Medusa consumed him. In a fit of rage, he repeatedly violated Medusa within the sacred sanctuary, and because of this violation, Athena, instead of punishing Neptune, turned her wrath toward Medusa. And she transformed the once beautiful maiden into a hideous creature with snakes for hair and a gaze that turned anyone who looked upon her to cold stone. Now a monster and lasting symbol of fear and dread, Medusa was banished and hunted and ultimately beheaded, death gaze intact, used as a weapon. At times, mere mortal beings find themselves ensnared in the web of sexual deviance and injustices perpetrated by so-called gods. In such cases, revenge can be a dish served cold. When Venus is positioned at the 26th degree of Scorpio, the planet of physical beauty and social grace is in a precarious situation. Scorpio is a dangerous and unsafe place for Venus. The opposition to Algol increases this risk, and within a full moon event, places Venus in the serial category, as in serial offender, serial crimes, or just someone who loses their head often, and as a matter of entitlement. Themes of sexual manipulation, assault, and even prostitution loom large here. More so beginning on Friday, December 29th, when Venus enters Sagittarius, the sign of the Silk Road, as in trade and barter, as well as the trafficking and smuggling of goods, including people. Furthermore, the trine to Neptune reinforces the code of secrecy and complicity among the gods, as we see in the Medusa myth between the god of the sea and Athena, who turned out to be a crooked female judge. The trine between Venus and Neptune and muted water signs underscores silence, and the vulnerability of Venus to be betrayed and manipulated by forces far greater than the average person or underage individual can contend with. Imagine screaming underwater. The chances of being heard are slim, if not non-existent. Similarly, when individuals fall victim to the manipulative influence of malevolent forces, it can feel like their cries go unheard. People may either turn a deaf ear to their pleas or remain oblivious to their suffering out of fear of reprisal and cold shouldering. As a result, these victims may find themselves slowly slipping away, drowning in a sea of escapism, substance abuse, depression, and, tragically, sometimes even replicating the harmful behavior and abuses they endured. The 11th house of the mundane horoscope deals with our collective hopes and wishes, peer groups, organizations, brotherhood, and kindred spirits. The 11th house holding both the cold moon and Hades suggests something systemic, like the casting couch of Hollywood or the abuse of young boys within the Boy Scouts of America. Keep in mind that the crab, symbolizing Cancer, has a tendency to sidestep. As the national sun sign, this trait can reflect a national inclination toward avoidance and the tendency to bury our heads in the sand where it concerns our most beloved and celebrated institutions, as part of our national character. Lastly, as the year nears its end, this sobering fairy tale revealed by the full moon continues with the alignment to Jupiter in Taurus, the zodiac sign associated with branded cattle, meat markets, and slaughterhouses, at standstill in the very public 10th house. Jupiter and Chiron are both set to resume direct motion. Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer centaur, that enjoys its orbit outside the boundary of gatekeeper Saturn, resumes direct motion only hours after the full moon on Tuesday, December 26 at 10:10 p.m. East Coast, United States. Chiron's forward motion allows it to move into its historic triple conjunction during the new moon total solar eclipse scheduled for April 8, 2024. During this celestial event, Chiron will bask in the degree of the sun's greatest exaltation, alongside the moon, creating a once-in-a-lifetime Father, Son, Holy Spirit moment. Until then, there exists a long-standing tradition that if a cow or bull manages to escape the clutches of the slaughter, they are granted immunity, are untouchable, and relocated to a place of freedom and safety where they can live out their days peacefully. In a celestial parallel, Jupiter, the planet symbolizing pardons and the dispensation of grace, appears poised to extend a similar blessing to the herd of innocent victims caught in the clutches of affluent soul-sucking mortal demons that walk among us. Call it a Christmas and New Year's gift as recompense in the name of Medusa, at last. This is it, the chariot year is near its end. The chariot was all about spiritual warfare as epitomized in Romans 12 verse 2, and tackling challenges head-on, taking the initiative, and using determination and willpower to push toward your goals. Hopefully, as you reflect on 2023, you can take pride in having overcome tremendous adversity and odds. This wasn't the year for excuses, procrastinators, or white-knucklers. Week 52, with the reversed magician as major arcana host, always suggests end-of-year burnout or struggles either creatively or in achieving your plans, which may be due to a lack of boundaries, will, or focus, or possibly for having used your manifesting powers for the wrong purposes. The King of Pentacles as the satellite companion to the reversed magician represents financial success and self-made wealth, but also warns against becoming consumed by materialism at the expense of family and health. This combination of the reversed magician and King of Pentacles hints at manipulative trickster energy, advising you to seek support, legal counsel, and to set clear boundaries if someone tries to control you. In the realm of spiritual warfare, it becomes challenging to manifest a positive reality when emotional vampires drain your energy and resources, and when asserting yourself or voicing your needs feels like a power struggle that leads to aggression. If you've lost your mojo or sense of empowerment, it's likely that what you truly need isn't just smudging sage and a pocket full of crystals, but the guidance of a serious-minded life coach who can assist you in decluttering your life and rediscovering your self-empowerment. As we approach the end of the year, the alignment of the full cold moon with Hades indeed paints a dark narrative. It suggests that we may be facing some unsettling and challenging events as we close out this chapter. However, there is a glimmer of hope in the form of Chiron resuming direct motion on the same day. This shift signifies a much-needed process of collective healing, which might happen swiftly, bringing relief after a long period of waiting. Jupiter's movement in complement to Chiron offers a promising outlook. Although Jupiter's pace may be slow, its influence is expected to be substantial. This suggests that blessings and positive developments of significant magnitude may be on the horizon, providing a ray of hope amid the darker cosmic alignments. Speaking of horizons, brilliant morning star Venus, during its 7-week retrograde last summer, hinted at significant news and shocking revelation knowledge, which I invite you to revisit by binging former episodes of this channel. Venus had several encounters with Uranus during its period of retrograde, and even found an apex position as the hand of God with Neptune and Pluto, before returning direct. It is no cosmic coincidence that Venus opposes the gaze of Medusa, a symbol of deep betrayal and manipulation, as well as fear and dread, just as the full moon unveils hidden aspects of Hades' underworld. The combination of these celestial alignments leaves us with a sense of anticipation and uncertainty. It's as if the universe is preparing to reveal something significant, something that could have far-reaching effects. So, as we approach this period, all we can do is stay tuned to the rising and changing tides and remain vigilant, ready to embrace not only whatever revelations and changes lie ahead but a whole new year to boot. Happiest of New Years to you and yours. Thanks for watching. I am MetaStar. Until next time. Always love.